That's amazing. Is that where we want to end? I want to talk about Yolanda Saldívar getting re-beat up by that little girl.
Who the fuck? Who?
There was a
video.
I don't know if there's a video, but there's a little girl. There's like a little girl that asked her mom if she could have a piñata with Yolanda Saldívar's face.
Yeah.
And she dressed up as Selena, and she just beat the fuck out of that piñata.
Nice.
And her mom approved, and she went viral because of it.
Where is it?
I don't know where. I don't know. It might have been in Houston.
Niña venga, Selena quebrando piñata de Yolanda Saldívar.
There it is. Look at that.
You better work.
And she wore like the iconic Selena like purple thing. I'm like, what a birthday.
It's like,
It's got 19.1 million views on TikTok.
Work. Of course it was on TikTok.
Fuck with it.
As a Latina,
Getting
brilliant.
our hits.
As a person, I'm like, I'm
here it
concerned
is.
about your parenting.
Selena, what you about to do, girl? Yes.
Oh.
Fuck this bitch up is what she just said.
Come on, Selena, kick her ass.
Go.
Kick her ass.
All day.
That little girl is
All
getting
day.
into fights at 7 in the morning in high
day.
school for sure.
She's going ham.
Yo, she was all they could talk about in elementary school that next Monday.
Yo, the fact that this little girl had the like ingenuity to even think about that. Like, what the fuck would I ever think about making some sort of like?
Well, I'm
Statement.
sure
Like
that
a
if he grew up
statement
with a
like
mom
that.
being like, fuck this bitch, Yolanda
Fuck
Saldívar.
Yolanda Saldívar.
If I could beat her ass, I would.
This girl's just trying to get her mom's
That's
attention.
fucking cool.
Like, this girl's just trying to get her mom's approval. Like, look, mom, I beat up Yolanda Saldívar. Don't you hate her?
On one side, I'm like, that is brilliant. On the other side, I'm like, somebody needs to check on that parent. Because that little kid, like, I'm scared for her future.
The little girl said, she's like, can I say it? She's like, yeah, go ahead. She's like, I'm about to beat this bitch's ass.
Like, they don't be beating kids' ass like they used to. Let me say some shit like that in front of my mom. She would have been
Yeah,
like,
you better be careful. There's a whole new world out here where they don't like hitting kids.
that's crazy.
This is our Latin American like.
That's crazy.
This is how you know we're not
There's
from
like
this country.
there's two versions of like Latinos.
Yeah,
and,
that's
like,
how you know there's two, because there's a whole group
I'm
of
the
like
one-
new
we
generation.
were the
I
one
don't think
that-
Gen Z is gonna hit their kids.
I'm not gonna hit my kid.
I probably wouldn't hit my kid, but my mom really didn't hit me either, and I turned out not to be like the biggest asshole in the world.
I'm not
so.
gonna hit my kid, and if the father of my child decides to come out and hit my kid, I'm gonna beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, like I wouldn't
like, see how
hit
you
my
like
kid
it.
because like let's move past the generational trauma. Like let's go to therapy and like solve our. You know what I mean? Like let's actually learn how to raise kids.
Yeah.
I
Like,
really,
you're
I,
Also,
not-
nobody beats their
I
kids like they
really
used
want to
to.
have the conversation when everybody has children, because when you get them little kids
Well, I'm not gonna have kids.
and they
so
start
that's-
and they
I'm
start.
gonna tell you right
But
now. When
also,
I was a
like,
kid, I needed to get.
You
beat.
were fucking evil.
Yeah.
You were evil. You were fucking evil. When your kids come out, they better motherfucking come out like you, because I swear to God. No.
Here's the thing.
They're gonna be the calmest
Like
people.
a very
No.
real no.
I want to
like,
see your ass
hitting
say.
your kids doesn't fucking
No.
work. Like you're like that's
I want
not
to see
a
her
thing.
say that
Like,
again.
I mean, you can like everybody has like their own like parenting thing, but like I grew up and like I didn't really get like hit, you know what I mean? Like I didn't really get in trouble as a kid. I was a pretty chill kid, but also like that's not like you're not really accomplishing anything by hitting your kid. You know what
You
I
are
mean?
asserting
Like,
your dominance. Let me just say that.
but you're not. But you're like it should that shouldn't be like how you approach
You would
parenting.
think that. You would
by
think
asserting
that.
your dom. Like
You
they're not
really-
like a dog.
You're
You
weird.
really would think that until you have the kid.
my grandma literally
and it
said
depends.
kids are like puppies. You gotta
Because
like
this is
figure
the thing.
out.
Like I
I think that's a fucked up way
100%.
to look at it.
I'm not saying that you're
know?
wrong. I'm just saying that's what my grandma literally
I
said.
100%. Like I wasn't hit as a kid. He knows this. I was never
Yeah, you
hit
were
as a
not-
kid.
you were not
but I was
tortured.
a very different kid from my kid, for instance, or him. I was very calm.
Yeah,
I said
my parents-
nothing.
For sure.
Whoa, what's up, me?
They was up you, yes, and you rightly deserved
I
it.
still feel it.
Yeah.
I still right here, my mom.
And let me
know what
tell
I mean?
you- let me
But
tell
I'm
you-
gonna tell you right now. I remember getting slapped, or like in certain things, and it was mostly because I was being like real disrespectful to my mom.
Yeah.
So my dad was like, "You ain't about to talk to my wife like that."
Exactly.
So, And
Nah, but the thing
or like
about
my mom
hitting,
herself
like,
being like, "What you
the
just call
thing
me?"
about
And
like,
like
corporal punishment is like if you're having a kid, like the idea is to like raise the kid, right?
Yes.
Like you're raising
Yes.
them to be like a functional adult.
Yeah,
And if
sometimes it
my
doesn't work
response
like
is-
that.
huh?
Sometimes it just doesn't work like that.
But that's like the whole thing, like the whole argument about hitting your kids is being like, if you're resorting to that, it's a reflection of you, of being like, I don't have the tools right now to deal with this situation,
Yes.
which just really means I have to get the tools to deal with the situation. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Which is like what I always heard, like growing up, like my dad was super against that shit. Cause also
super
like,
hitting your kids.
yeah,
Like,
like
against-
my
against
dad,
hitting
like
your kids?
my dad wouldn't even raise his voice at us. Like
Got
he
it.
just didn't fuck with that because he was like, I'm not teaching you shit. Like if you're throwing a tantrum and I hit you, what I'm telling you is whatever you felt is wrong. And whenever you're 15 or 16, you're not gonna know how to deal with those fucking emotions. And I can't
I
have a
think
fucking
it's-
16-year-old throwing a fucking tantrum,
I
like
think
having a
it's
mental breakdown because she
very-
got like a bad grade or something. It's like I'm not preparing you for life.
I think there's a very like
I would make the argument that at 8 years old, you're not supposed to be trying to teach your kids how to do that anyway. But
But you are. Like that's the thing. Like
this
you
is
are.
the thing. Again.
but they're not going to comprehend that. They're not going to comprehend
as somebody
are.
who
so
has
complicated,
teach them.
like really, really, really complicated situations. They're not going to comprehend it.
There's this video.
Yeah,
There's this video of this little boy that's like, he's probably like 5, I want to say, and he has like a little brother as well, and he is the most emotionally mature human being I have ever seen, because they're like his I'm not kidding you, his little brother is over here and his little brother starts to cry and he goes, it's okay to be sad, you can cry, or like his little brother would come up and try to take his toy or something, he'd be like, I know sometimes it's hard to share, but you had your
hell no,
turn.
that kid's
it's
gonna
my
get
turn
bullied.
now. And he is like, it's like the
that could be-
sweetest.
that kid better not go to public school.
Whenever that kid goes to school and somebody messes with him, number one, he's probably gonna be like, what are you doing right now? Like, I don't understand what you're trying to like accomplish to me. But number
You would
two,
think
whatever
that, but,
that
like, I
person
was
is making them
too
feel, they're
anxious for
gonna
that
know
shit.
how to deal with that.
Man,
They're
shit, I
gonna
don't
know
If
like who
anybody
to
would
go.
act like that in public, but where we went to school, that kid was gonna get bullied. That kid would not have lunch every day.
Absolutely. Like as somebody
But that's
who,
because other fucking parents are not
Yeah,
raising their
because
kids
we were
like being
fucking
little
bad
shits.
kids.
and as
In a
somebody
perfect world, if
who's-
everybody had kids like that, then yeah,
if
we wouldn't
everybody
have
was
any
if
issues.
everybody was teaching the kids to stop having generational trauma, I would totally understand that. But in comparison, like literally,
But
this
you
happened
don't
about a
have
week
to
ago.
like you don't have to like teach your kids to deal with their emotions and also be like, hey, you like. I think people talk about that with like gentle parenting, and people are like, oh yeah, you're gonna teach your kid like gentle parenting, and then tomorrow they're not gonna know how to deal with like hard situations. It's like, no, that's exactly what
No.
you're teaching them to do. You're teaching them to not
Yeah, I
break
get that.
down like in front of like the face of hard situations. They're not like, you know, if a kid like
Gentle
starts
parenting
picking
is
on them,
different than coddling.
they're not
Yeah,
like
yeah, for sure.
you know, they're gonna
think
know
people-
how to deal with
people find
situations
those
because
things
you're also
synonymous.
gonna give them the tools to do that.
Yeah.
Like you're giving them the confidence to do that, and when they don't know how to do that, they're also gonna know how to ask for help because they're
Yeah.
gonna be confident enough in the people that are around them.
Yeah. I think people
You know?
confuse gentle parenting with coddling or
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
yeah.
And I
completely
think,
different.
I think that's like
enabling and, like
100% true.
You know.
And then again, as somebody who has a child and is currently raising them and literally on their own, it is a lot easier and it's frustrating for me to hear you guys talk because it's like I'm actually living through what it's like to raise the child and do all the things and have to be like, yes, sometimes I have to be like, fuck, I can't. I shouldn't let out my anger with you because I am consciously thinking I cannot be letting out generational trauma. That's not okay. But then sometimes kids are actual pieces of shit assholes. Like and I mean that
I agree
because
with that too.
because they're human.
I would argue most kids are
because
assholes.
they are human, and that does mean that sometimes they do shit on purpose to be mean. To be assholes, to
Here's
do
what
these
I will,
things,
I
and
will,
all
I
these
will
things.
make an addendum to that whole conversation only because of personal experience. I have, on one hand, been hit as a kid, but on the other hand, am also a testament to not restarting the generational trauma cycle because you have a whole life with that person. So at a certain point in time, the way my folks had with me, you get to have a conversation and talk about the realities of
Yes.
and circumstances and history and all these things, and you get to hopefully have very honest conversations about what people were going through at the time and things
Absolutely.
like that. And then you can come to a very, very healthy point of understanding where you're like, I get it.
Yeah.
You were a broken person. You were healing. You're better now. We're here now. And you could still stop the generational,
Yeah. And I think
the continuance of trauma.
Yeah.
Even at a later point,
And I
whenever
think
that kid
that's
is
100%
21,
true
25, 26
because
or something like that.
there
you
is
know?
something that like
That's also not to say that you should be like beating the fuck out of your kids
hell
all the
no.
time for no reason. That's not what I'm
And I
advocating
think,
for.
And I
I'm
think
just
that's
saying, like,
very important to talk about in the sense that it's like your kid's gonna complain about you regardless, bro. Like
Yeah.
because you were
I was
brought up
horrible.
one way, I was brought up another. I still complain about my parents. Like I still told my parents at one point or another, y'all sucked at this parenting shit sometimes. Like, and they never hit me. I was never hit.
And I be telling them,
Yeah,
and I be
for
telling,
sure.
and I be telling you that they killed it.
Yeah.
That they're like, yo, they did such a great job with you.
Yeah, and I've come to that realization as somebody who's raising a kid that it's like my kid's gonna complain about me regardless. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pretend to be perfect with my kid because I'm not. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, when I am raising my kid, I do 100% be like, what are you feeling? Especially my kid don't understand no shit, but like I can't have that conversation of like, what are you feeling? What's going on or whatever. And then there's times where you really have to be like, look, I understand what you're feeling. I get it.
I don't
You're
have the
feeling
time.
frustrated, but it's not the place and it's not the time. And the reason I say that is because although my parents never hit me, I live with the fear of God with my
Yeah,
mother.
that part,
I
bro.
literally live with
my
the
parents
fear
never hit me, but nothing.
of
I
God.
have never feared anyone like my mother. Like
I've
to this
never-
fucking day.
and my mom didn't hit me, but she did verbally. You could have considered her the way she spoke to us and how she spoke to us, what most people consider now verbal abuse.
Oh man, that's a whole different side.
And so
But
it's like, I don't know, because
speaking of that, speaking as a fear, Brie will sometimes be like massaging my back, or like the back of my head, and she'll grab me like this, like it should just like squeeze
Like a
my neck,
pinch.
and as soon as she squeezes my neck, I go. Like, it's just like, why do you always do
Trauma
that? And I'm
response.
just like, because my mom's because I used to be at the store, like, can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? And my mom will be like,
you be running around and shit.
no, just
So-
stop